Welcome. What you are about to watch is not science fiction, and it is not folklore. It is a serious investigation into one of history's most compelling unresolved questions: the mystery of the Thera Eruption and Exodus. Did a volcanic catastrophe inspire the Bible? Across the world, in universities, research institutes, and field excavations, serious scholars are wrestling with evidence that does not fit the accepted story. Evidence that has been documented, measured, and peer-reviewed, and that still has no satisfying conventional explanation. We are going to look at that evidence carefully, without prejudice in either direction, not dismissing what is extraordinary, but not accepting it without scrutiny either. The truth, as always, is in the details. Around 1600 BC, the island of Thera in the Aegean Sea exploded. The Minoan eruption released energy equivalent to thousands of nuclear warheads, ejected approximately 60 cubic kilometers of material into the atmosphere, created a caldera 8 kilometers across, and generated tsunamis that reached Egypt. It is one of the largest volcanic eruptions in the past 10,000 years. 1,500 kilometers away, in Egypt, a document known as the Ipuwer Papyrus describes rivers running red, fire falling from the sky, crops destroyed, darkness covering the land, and the social order collapsing. Scholars have noticed the resemblance to the 10 plagues of Exodus since the papyrus was first published in the 19th century. The parallels are striking. The timing is close. The Thera eruption would have caused exactly the environmental effects described, but the connection is more complicated than it first appears. The Ipuwer Papyrus predates even the earliest proposed date for the Thera eruption. There is no Egyptian record of an Israelite exodus. The dating of the eruption itself is still contested. What is the true relationship between the largest volcanic eruption of the ancient world and the foundational narrative of the Hebrew Bible, and can we ever know? This is where our investigation begins. Stay with us, because the further we go into the evidence, the more extraordinary it becomes. The story you think you know is only the surface. Beneath it lies something far more remarkable. Let us begin. Before we examine the specific evidence, we need to step back and understand the context. This case does not exist in isolation. It sits within the wider world of ancient technological anomalies, and to properly evaluate what we are looking at, we need to understand the broader picture that surrounds it. The official story of technological progress follows a reassuring arc. Stone tools giving way to bronze, bronze to iron, iron to steel, and finally the Industrial Revolution catapulting humanity into the modern age. In this narrative, each generation inherits a slightly more sophisticated toolkit than the last, and no knowledge is ever truly lost. It is a comfortable story. It is also, in key respects, demonstrably false. History is littered with technological achievements that appeared centuries before their supposed invention, vanished after the cultures that created them collapsed, and were reinvented, often with great difficulty, by later civilizations who had no idea the knowledge had ever existed. Roman concrete was stronger and more durable than most modern concrete and was not matched again until the 21st century. Greek fire, the incendiary weapon that protected the Byzantine Empire for centuries, has never been fully reproduced. Damascus steel, capable of holding an edge that modern metallurgists struggle to replicate, disappeared with the craftsmen who made it. These are not myths. They are documented historical losses of genuine technical knowledge. When we encounter an object from the ancient world that should not exist, a battery from Baghdad dated to the Parthian era, a computing mechanism salvaged from an ancient shipwreck, a map showing geographical features that were not officially discovered for another millennium, the temptation is to dismiss it as misidentified or misstated. That dismissal is sometimes warranted. But when such objects accumulate, when the pattern becomes too consistent to ignore, the honest response is to ask whether our model of ancient capability is simply wrong. This context matters because it tells us something important. What we are about to investigate is not an isolated curiosity. It is part of a pattern that researchers in multiple fields have been independently documenting for decades. And patterns in science demand explanation. With that foundation in place, let us now turn to the specific case at hand. Now we reach the heart of the matter, the core evidence surrounding the Thera Eruption and Exodus. Did a volcanic catastrophe inspire the Bible? Is more extensive, more verified, and more troubling for conventional explanations than most people realize. Let us walk through it systematically, fact by fact, and allow the evidence to speak for itself. We are not going to speculate here. Every point that follows is documented in peer-reviewed publications, official archaeological records, or government archives that are publicly accessible. The question is not whether these facts are real. The question is what they mean. Consider this first extraordinary detail. The Minoan eruption of Thera, modern Santorini, occurred between approximately 1620 and 1530 BC. Most current estimates favor the range 1620 to 1600 BC, though the precise date is still debated between volcanologists, radiocarbon specialists, and Egyptologists. It had a volcanic explosivity index of 7, among the most powerful eruptions in the past 10,000 years. It produced approximately 60 cubic kilometers of tephra and created a caldera 8 times 4 kilometers across. This single data point, if taken in isolation, might be set aside. Anomalies happen, instruments malfunction, researchers make mistakes, but as we continue, you will see that this is not an isolated anomaly. It is part of a consistent and documented pattern. But that is only the beginning. Researchers also discovered the eruption generated tsunamis with wave heights estimated at 9 meters or more on the Egyptian coastline and significantly higher on the coasts of Crete. The Minoan civilization on Crete, the dominant maritime power of the Bronze Age Aegean, was severely disrupted in the decades following the eruption, though whether the eruption directly caused Minoan decline or merely contributed to it remains debated. The eruption deposited ash across the Aegean, Anatolia, and the Nile Delta. Now, a skeptic might propose an alternative explanation for this, and that is entirely reasonable. We should always test alternative explanations before accepting extraordinary ones. The problem is that the alternative explanations, when examined carefully, create more problems than they solve. The mystery deepens when we examine. The Ipuwer Papyrus is an ancient Egyptian literary text describing catastrophic social collapse. Rivers of blood, fire from the sky, crops destroyed, the poor becoming rich, foreigners arriving, and the land in chaos. It has been compared to the 10 plagues of Exodus, since Egyptologist Alan Gardiner first published a translation in 1909. The papyrus itself is dated to the Middle Kingdom period, approximately 1800 BC, at least 180 years before even the earliest proposed Thera eruption date. This is where the conventional account begins to strain. Each individual fact might be dismissed or minimized in isolation. But the cumulative weight of the evidence is another matter entirely, perhaps most remarkable of all. The 10-plague sequence described in Exodus has been analyzed by volcanologists and geologists for volcanic parallels. Darkness, ash clouds, hail of fire, pyroclastic material, water turning to blood, iron-rich volcanic ash in water or toxic algal blooms, livestock death, volcanic gas and acid rain, and crop destruction, ash fall, all have plausible volcanic explanations. The sequence also matches the logical progression of consequences from a major volcanic eruption affecting regional climate and water chemistry. Researchers who have examined this evidence have described it as genuinely difficult to explain within the accepted framework. These are not fringe commentators. They are credentialed academics publishing in mainstream journals, raising questions that the field has not yet satisfactorily answered. Then there is the matter of Egyptian archaeological records from the New Kingdom period, the era most commonly proposed for the Exodus, contain no reference to an Israelite enslaved population, no reference to the death of Egyptian firstborns or destruction of the Egyptian military, and no reference to a mass departure of slaves. Egyptian records of the period are relatively extensive and include accounts of military campaigns, religious events, and natural disasters. The absence of any Exodus reference is considered significant by mainstream biblical scholarship. What makes this particularly significant is its independence from the previous points. This is not a case of one theory requiring another. These are separate lines of evidence converging on the same uncomfortable conclusion. Adding to the enigma is this finding. The date of the Thera eruption is one of the more contested chronological problems in ancient history. Archaeological evidence from destroyed Minoan sites suggests a date around 1500 BC. Radiocarbon dating of organic material from the eruption layer consistently gives dates in the range 1620 to 1600 BC. Greenland ice core records contain a large volcanic acid spike at approximately 1642 BC, which some researchers attribute to Thera. Reconciling these different lines of evidence remains an active research problem with significant implications for Bronze Age chronology. Taken together, these facts form a pattern that cannot be explained by coincidence, misidentification, or methodological error. Each piece of evidence has been examined by skeptics. Each has been subjected to alternative explanations, and in each case, the alternative explanation falls short of accounting for everything that has been documented. We are left with a body of evidence that demands explanation and an accepted narrative that does not provide one. This is where serious inquiry begins. Now that we have established the evidence, we need to examine the theories that researchers have proposed to explain the Thera Eruption and Exodus. Did a volcanic catastrophe inspire the Bible? This is where the debate becomes most intense, because the theories reflect not just different interpretations of the same evidence, but fundamentally different assumptions about what is possible and what the past looked like. Understanding these theories is not just an academic exercise. Each one has been championed by serious researchers with genuine credentials, and each one captures something that the others miss. The truth, if it is ever established, will likely draw on elements of several. The first major explanation proposed by researchers holds that the Thera eruption directly caused or inspired the 10 plagues of Exodus. Volcanic phenomena experienced in Egypt were preserved in cultural memory as supernatural judgments. Emanuel Velikovsky, R. Obert Ballard, and others. The main objection: the Ipuwer Papyrus predates Thera. The plague sequence does not perfectly match a single eruption event, and no Egyptian source explicitly connects any disaster to the Israelites or to any departure of a slave population from Egypt. This interpretation has significant academic support and is backed by substantial evidence, but it is not without problems. Critics point out that it requires assumptions that go beyond what the evidence strictly supports, and that key predictions of this theory have not been confirmed by subsequent research. It remains contested, and the contest is productive. A rival school of thought argues that the Ipuwer Papyrus records the social and environmental aftermath of the Thera eruption as experienced in Egypt. Rivers of blood reflecting iron-rich volcanic ash in the Nile, darkness reflecting ash clouds. Crop failure, reflecting acid rain and reduced sunlight, various mid-20th century researchers. The main objection: the Ipuwer Papyrus dates to the Middle Kingdom, at least 180 years before the earliest Thera date. It is a literary lament, not a historical chronicle of a specific datable event. This theory is controversial, and deliberately so. Its proponents argue that the evidence demands an explanation outside the conventional framework. Critics counter that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and that the evidence presented, while suggestive, does not yet meet that standard. The debate continues in peer-reviewed literature. Perhaps the most unconventional theory suggests that the Exodus is a theological narrative, a foundational story of liberation drawing on genuine historical memories of Egyptian rule and possible historical migrations, but not a literal chronicle of a specific historical event. Mainstream biblical scholarship the main objection from religious traditions. The narrative is treated as historical by the texts themselves, and absence of Egyptian evidence is not the same as evidence of absence. Records were selectively preserved. What is striking about this debate is not merely that experts disagree. That is normal and healthy in science. What is striking is the quality of the disagreement. Serious researchers, working from the same body of evidence, reaching genuinely different conclusions. That level of fundamental disagreement, when it persists over decades, is a signal that something important has not yet been understood. The question is not which of these theories is right. The question is whether any of them is right, or whether the truth is something that none of the current frameworks has yet been able to capture. The case surrounding the Thera Eruption and Exodus, did a volcanic catastrophe inspire the Bible, does not rest on speculation alone. What distinguishes this investigation from pure mythology is the existence of documented, physical, verifiable evidence, material that has been examined by credentialed researchers and whose authenticity is not seriously disputed. What is disputed is its interpretation. Let us review the most significant documented evidence as objectively as possible. We are not going to cherry-pick the data that supports a preferred conclusion. We are going to lay out what exists and let you draw your own assessment. Physical evidence supporting this account includes Thera eruption ash layers have been identified in sediment cores from the Nile Delta and the eastern Mediterranean seafloor, confirming that significant volcanic material reached Egypt. Tsunami deposits have been found at coastal sites in the Levant and Egypt. The eruption's atmospheric effects are recorded in Greenland ice cores and in tree ring data from oak trees in Ireland and California, providing independent confirmation of a major volcanic event in the mid-2nd millennium BC. This evidence has been subjected to independent verification. Skeptics have examined it. Alternative explanations have been proposed and tested. The data remains. Question of what it means remains open. Investigators have documented. The Ipuwer Papyrus dating problem is decisive for the direct connection thesis. The surviving copy dates to the 19th dynasty, around 1250–1200 BC, but the text is believed to describe events of the First Intermediate Period or Early Middle Kingdom, around 2100–1800 BC. In either case, centuries before the Thera eruption. The text belongs to a genre of Egyptian literary lament with conventional rhetorical elements. Egyptologists do not treat it as a specific historical chronicle. This evidence has been subjected to independent verification. Skeptics have examined it. Alternative explanations have been proposed and tested. The data remains. The question of what it means remains open. On-site analysis revealed Egyptian records from the New Kingdom, including the Amarna letters, temple inscriptions, and administrative papyri, document Egypt's affairs in considerable detail. No text references a population of Israelite slaves, an exodus, or any event resembling the plague's narrative. Archaeologists have excavated extensively in the Sinai and Eastern Delta region proposed as the Exodus route, finding no archaeological traces consistent with a large-scale population movement of the size described in the biblical narrative. This evidence has been subjected to independent verification. Skeptics have examined it. Alternative explanations have been proposed and tested. The data remains. The question of what it means remains open. Each individual piece of evidence might, in principle, be explained away. A single anomalous artifact might be misidentified. A single anomalous date might reflect contamination. A single anomalous eyewitness account might reflect misperception. The question is whether all of the evidence can be explained away, and whether the explanations required are more or less plausible than the evidence itself. When multiple independent lines of inquiry converge on the same conclusion, that convergence is the most powerful signal in empirical science. And that is exactly what we are seeing here. We have examined the history, the evidence, and the theories surrounding the Thera Eruption and Exodus. Did a volcanic catastrophe inspire the Bible? Now we need to ask the question that is sometimes overlooked in discussions of ancient mysteries. Why does this matter? What does it mean for us today? It would be easy to file this away as an interesting historical curiosity, a puzzle from a distant past with no bearing on our present lives. That would be a fundamental mistake. The questions raised by this case touch on issues that are directly relevant to who we are, where we came from, and what the human story actually looks like before the period covered by conventional history. The Thera eruption date continues to be refined by radiocarbon dating, ice core analysis, and dendrochronology. Consensus has moved toward 1620–1600 BC, but is not settled. The eruption's effects on Bronze Age Mediterranean civilizations, Minoan, Egyptian, Levantine, are a genuine and active research field independent of biblical connections. The Exodus as a historical event is not supported by Egyptian archaeological evidence. Mainstream biblical scholarship treats it as a foundational theological narrative. The comparison between volcanic phenomena and plague descriptions remains intellectually interesting as a study in how natural catastrophes become mythologized. Santorini today is one of the most visited tourist destinations in the world. The caldera that remains is the physical scar of the eruption. Furthermore, the tools available to investigate these questions are advancing rapidly. Satellite imaging, ground-penetrating radar, ancient DNA analysis, isotopic tracing, and deep-sea sonar are all providing capabilities that previous generations of researchers could only dream of. Cases that were genuinely unresolvable 10 years ago are now open to new analysis, and the findings, consistently, are expanding rather than contracting the mystery. The investigation continues. New discoveries are being made. New analyses are being published. New voices are entering the conversation from disciplines that were not previously part of the discussion. The answers, when they come, and they will come, will not merely solve a historical puzzle. They will force a fundamental revision of assumptions that underpin our entire understanding of human history and human potential. We have now walked through the complete case of the Thera Eruption and Exodus. Did a volcanic catastrophe inspire the Bible? From the historical record, through the physical evidence, across the competing theories, and into the modern significance of what remains unresolved. What the story of Thera Eruption ultimately reveals is not just a historical puzzle. It is a mirror. It reflects our assumptions back at us, our assumptions about what ancient people were capable of, about how knowledge is gained and lost across the centuries, and about the relationship between what we know and what we merely think we know. The evidence presented in this documentary is real. The questions it raises are genuine. The debate among researchers is ongoing, and that is healthy. Science is not a set of conclusions. It is a process. And the process requires that we remain open to evidence that challenges what we thought we knew, however uncomfortable that challenge might be. If you came to this documentary as a skeptic, we hope the evidence gave you something to think about. If you came as a true believer, we hope the critical examination gave you a more nuanced picture. The truth, as always, lies in the evidence, not in what we want to be true. Thank you for watching. If this investigation sparked your curiosity, please subscribe to the channel. We publish new documentaries every week, covering the full range of historical mysteries that the mainstream has not yet adequately explained. Leave a comment below telling us which case you want us to investigate next. The conversation continues. The investigation never ends.